Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. My name is Kaia Ra, and for those of you who are new to our prayer collective, I am the best-selling author of the Sophia Code and the internationally known oracle for an Ascended Master High Council called the Sophia Dragon Chime. This High Council represents exceptional master teachers and exceptional master healers who are working together as one for the reconciliation of humanity back to its true and inherent sovereign divinity, its true divine inheritance. I'm so happy to be back together with each of you this evening. It's so wonderful to see so many participants on tonight's call. And I know that many of us have been experiencing quite a deep Mercury retrograde journey. And what's so interesting for me is that we were talking together as a team before the prayer call, and some of our team angels asked me, hey, who's on deck for our overlighting mentor this evening? And I immediately felt the presence of Quan, who is Key Code 6 in the Sophia Code cosmology. Her Sophia embodiment title is She of 1,000 Waters. And I'm just so thrilled that Quan will be blessing us and overlighting us with quantum healing, with guided meditation, with teachings, with activations this evening to bless your heart, to bless your body, to bless your mind, to bless your soul during this unique moment where when we go through, there's several passages of Mercury retrograde that happen throughout the year. And those passages often ask us to go as deep as we possibly can into the waters of our unconscious. It's a time where for about 3 weeks, we're invited to lean into what can seem like emotionally dangerous edges of growth. But the only danger that's there is for the ego structure, because Mercury retrogrades represent a passage, a time where we are communicating with the unspoken places within ourselves that have been held back. So you could think about that energy of Mercury spinning backwards, almost like that feeling of, oh, what areas in your life have you felt like you've taken 1 step forward and 3 steps back? Well, the beauty of these chapters throughout the year is that everything slows down, especially in this particular Mercury retrograde with its the Piscean influence. Everything slows down so that we can really look at those wounds, those propensities for self-sabotage, even just the ways that we have chosen to ignore the calling to go within and to really be present with some of the darker material within us so that we can be freed by it. It's not so that we torture ourselves with it. It's so that we can be finally liberated to take more than 1 step forward and not step backward in that particular area in your life or that topic ever again. So although Mercury retrograde can often be dreaded because it can affect, as a ruling planet over communications, it can affect technology, and we are a very technologically centric society. What people are really unconsciously frustrated with is during this time period is the fact that the movement of this planet is encouraging the movement of your heart and the movement of your mind to become still within that movement, to become the witness of how your heart is seeking to be healed, to be empowered, to be heard in new and exciting ways that can also feel very scary to the ego structure. So this evening, we are blessed with the presence of beautiful Quan, who went through many great challenges, including some of healing, having to walk through the journey of healing herself from some of the deepest wounds someone could have to heal from. And because of her journey, because of Kuan Yin's embodied journey, she did not skip the healing process. It wasn't even possible for her to skip the healing process because her journey of healing was so extreme. It demanded her presence. It was as though the 7 years that we read about in her time in the jungle of grief was a 7-year Mercury retrograde. You know, I personally understand that because I went through something similar myself in my own life, as many of you know. What happens when we surrender to being fully present to what is asking to be attended to with loving compassion, with clear consciousness, with sobriety, where we're not running away, but we're running towards what is calling us to go within? We become bejeweled with the pearls of Sophia. For every tear you have shed, that salt water has become the ocean that has created every pearl that adorns you. Pearls of wisdom that you offer, whether you are able to acknowledge it or not, through the kindnesses that you offer to your friends and your family and your community, your coworkers. Wherever you go, there are pearls of kindness, there are pearls of generosity, and there are pearls of wisdom within you. That when you are in alignment with your higher self and your source, you have the capacity to offer these pearls of compassion that have arisen from the tears of your own heroic human journey. And so as we're rounding out this journey through this current Mercury retrograde with so much deep water energy from the influence of Pisces, I personally feel like I've been walking under an ocean for 2 weeks. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just something to get used to when all of a sudden you're not walking on land, you're walking underwater. And that's how it's energetically felt for me personally. And perhaps it's been feeling somewhat like that for you, or maybe it's a different experience, but it's an experience that might feel unusual for you during this period of this planetary influence. And whatever the sensations are that you are currently exploring, they are calling you inward to be very, very authentic and honest with your own heart, to be very authentic and honest with your own desires, to be very, very authentic and honest about your own hopes and dreams, and to be very authentic and honest with yourself about what has been obstructing your ability to receive or to take action upon these hopes, dreams, and desires that live as stars within your own heart, that you're reaching for within your own heart. Maybe those stars within the cosmos of your desires have felt unattainable in some way. Maybe it has caused a desire to burn in your heart that could be painful for you to feel during this Mercury retrograde. When we become acutely aware of where we're standing and where we desire to be, there is a creative tension that is building momentum for you to surrender to the journey across that ocean between where you are and where you want to go. There is a momentum, a magnetism that wants to draw you to that which you want to be drawn to. But we choose these heroic journeys between where we are and where we want to go, whether that's healing a wound, whether it's manifesting more abundance or a new partnership, whether it's creating a new aspect to life, like a new job or a new home or new relocation. It's like wherever you're standing to wherever you want to go, there's an ocean of experience between those 2 points. And that creative tension about what you want and what you don't have yet creates this wild momentum that can either send you on a much longer journey because you resent the journey, or it can slingshot you into a hyperspeed journey, which can be just as overwhelming. Or there can be the middle path, which is becoming so fully present in the present moment to both the feelings that are creating that tension and loving yourself and having compassion for yourself during every present moment in that journey across the ocean towards what you want. That shortens the journey to just the right amount of time, where you're always in the right place at the right time and everything is perfectly aligned. No matter which version of the journey that you pick, you're still going to end up at the same destination that you want to get to. But depending on how long you go in resistance or self-sabotage, it might not even happen till another lifetime, depending on how big the obstructions are. Or it could happen almost too quickly, where then there has to be karmic kind of scuttling around to get to overly prepare, to get prepared for something you're not even prepared for yet. Well, what if you picked the middle path? What if you picked the middle path where you were right on time and everything was divinely aligned, and that every feeling that you had along the way was part of creating the pearls of the mala, the pearls of the crown that you wear when you arrive at the destination, which is inevitable for you to arrive to? Sounds lovely. In practice, it requires a lot of willingness, because some of the most powerful sources of momentum when it comes to the emotional body are emotions that are very challenging to be with. The emotions and the experiences that are the most painful for us, those emotions and those experiences are the ones that have the dragon treasures. It's not just one jewel. It's like it is literally an entire treasure of jewels, both in momentum to where you want to go, as well as evolution. Because the reality is that the journey to get to what you want is meant to evolve you in such a way that when you arrive to your destination, you have become the person who was meant to arrive at that destination. Otherwise, it wouldn't be divinely aligned. So often we resent the journey. So often the journey can feel so painful that we just are looking for any way to get out of that journey. So often we can be ashamed of the journey and not know if it's safe to have this many feelings about our heroic human journey. Our divinity is omnipresent, it's perfect, it's holy, it's everywhere, it's unlimited in its power. Our humanity, very humbling. Very, very humbling. We can resent our own humanity and the journey of our divinity awakening within the human form. So much compassion is required for us to step into that elegant equation of arriving at the destination as you would want it to be for you in your highest version of yourself. The version of yourself that when you look into your heart, you are already holding the stars within your hands that you've been following across the sky of your inner cosmos. Once you arrive to the destination, and then you realize it was never a destination. It was a prayer that was praying you. Quan knows about this kind of journey. Because when you suffer great wounds and when you suffer great trauma, when you suffer great tragedy, you become very, very humble to the power of life as a teacher, as a softener of the spirit. My elders would teach me that everything wants to become as soft as water. Everything wants to be rounded by the water. Everything wants to become round. Become round. Become round, they would say to me. Let go of your hard edges. They weren't asking me to be defenseless. They weren't asking me to have no boundaries. They were asking me to soften to a power within me that was as vast as the ocean. That power that exists within you, within each of us, can only be accessed through the softening to it, which requires a great humbling of the mind to be in service to the heart. If you would please turn with me in the Sophia Code, which is the sacred text that we work with in this prayer collective, to page 237. You can read this passage with me out loud. It's from Quan's chapter. I was so surprised. I asked Quan, please show me what passage you would like for me to read to. And I opened the book to one of the most intense paragraphs of her chapter. And I thought, are you sure, Quan? And she said, oh, yes. And this is the place from which pearls arise. So on page, actually, I'm going to start at the bottom of 236. And you're all on mute, so you're welcome to read the Sophia Code out loud with me. We're just going to be reading 4 of very powerful paragraphs that speak to the veracity of Kuan Yin's feeling body, of the depth of her wounding. And what I want you to do as we read this out loud, I would like for you to identify one of the greatest wounds in your life and really be with how much it felt to feel that wound in your own healing journey. Maybe how much it's feeling for you to feel the same wounding right now, how it's transforming you as you allow yourself to feel it, which then allows yourself to heal it. We begin at the bottom of page 236. Through swollen eyes, I saw a flash of spinning diamond light. High up on the mountain's ridgeline, my gaze fixed upon the unknown eyes of an angelic-looking man who was urging me to flee. Shuddering, I attempted to move my body but blacked out. I awoke several hours later to the crack of lightning. Cold rain began to pour over the smoking site of my village. I heard the same firm voice speak from an unknown place within me. Walk to the jungle now and do not delay. In that moment, I left everything that I had known far behind me. I ran for my life to hide in the steep sanctuary of mountainous jungle. My consciousness fractured and split itself far off beyond the boundaries of sanity. Living off wild roots and herbs, I became a feral ghost and burrowed myself deep in the forest of my grief. My body often shook back and forth with cellular memories of unresolved trauma. I could not physically feel my skin, whether it was burnt, bleeding, or frozen. In my erratic state, terrified to be seen by another, I somehow managed to survive alone until the age of 17. internalizing my culture's social conditioning. I judged myself as the worthless orphan of a murdered family and a contaminated victim of rape. Carrying this burden of unworthiness broke my heart into 1,000 pieces. My consciousness dissolved into a black hole of self-hatred. Consumed by grief, it was a mere thread of connection to my body that kept me alive. In the greatest hour of my darkness, as I was about to end my life, a luminescent figure appeared before me, about 20 feet away from my crouching body. He did not blink, nor appear to breathe, yet I knew he was alive. I could hear the kind timbre of his voice inside my head, welcoming me to be at peace. I instinctively growled from my gut at his telepathic invitation, yet remained frozen in place by his somehow familiar, radiant countenance. It's important to remember that the rawness of this experience that Quan Yin is expressing here exists within each and every one of us. Even if you have not personally experienced a trauma of this depth in this lifetime, be assured, chances are good you've experienced it in another. And the reality is, in this lifetime, you and I came here on an angelic mission to transmute and transform the collective suffering of humanity. Period. There are so many people walking on this planet that have never experienced trauma and can hardly get out of bed because they are suicidal and depressed by how much the collective consciousness of humanity is suffering every moment of every day. So it's important to know that you're not going crazy during this Mercury retrograde. You and I are dropping in deep with our collective choice. We decided to do this angelic mission together. We said, okay, cool. We're going to airdrop down into that planetary matrix because we are truly living angels. And we're going to assume human form. And we're going to roll up our sleeves and we are going to take out the trash that everyone else is so direly terrified of even looking at, let alone touching. Many of us on this call have suffered great losses in this lifetime and great tragedies, some even great trauma. And I want you to know, first of all, that you're not alone in this prayer that's praying you to remember the master that you are in human form, but to also remember how much gratitude the ascended masters and all of the angels and each of us have for you tonight. Your willingness to be present with your inner cosmos, your willingness to reach for the stars within you. No matter what has happened in your life, your willingness to love yourself and have compassion for yourself as you feel all of your feelings amidst the incalculable amounts of contrast here on this earth plane, so that you can be a part of the solution to help transmute feelings and wounds that aren't even yours. Much of what we are transmuting, not even ours. And so That's what we meet with Quan Yin in her initiation. We meet an inner child that is bearing the wounds and the scars and the abuse of the insanity of a broken humanity. And in honor of all that you have sacrificed and all that you have committed to in your way shower embodiment, in your professional leadership, in your ministries, in your loving kindness to one another and to yourself, Kuan Yin would like to step forward and bring quantum healing and blessings to you this evening. So let's take a deep breath together. At this time, we welcome your higher self, your angel wings, your heart, and your human body all to come into alignment, in a conscious alignment of wholeness. We welcome the entire High Council of the Sophia Dragon Tribe, and gathering each and every one of us into the Temple of Sophia, this virtual multidimensional sanctuary that now is being raised up directly into the seventh plane of the Sophia Source, Christ Light. If you do not believe you are good enough for this light, that is okay, but you're still welcome to come with us anyway, all the way back to that source point, to remember how truly worthy you are of your own divine inheritance. At this time, I welcome you to feel the presence of all of your international community members with you here in this virtual sanctuary, both live and on the replay. There are far more members here than might be what you see on the screen. Good. It's important this year for us to remember each other, no matter how far the distance is between each of our hearts across the planet. We all chose to come here together beyond the veils of this physical reality. So feel your family of light. Feel the joyful reunion. And feel how that divine mother presencing that loves to gather her children together, that presence of Sophia, lighting up her key code mentors, Isis, Hathor, Green Tara, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Jesus, beautiful Kuan Yin, who is in this temple riding on a Sophia dragon at this moment. She's standing on the Sophia dragon with her beloved Maha Avatar Babaji, the center of the temple, anchoring the divine masculine pillar for her divine feminine toroidal field of quantum healing light. The Sophia dragons, the holy seraphim, including the Seraphael, spiraling at the center of this temple. Presence of the most holiest of dragon creatrix mothers, this angelic species in service to the one divine mother, creatrix of all life. Kuan Yin's field of light is literally filling this entire temple with rays of her rose quartz ray, her aquamarine ray, and her piercing white light ray, creating this massive toroidal field as she stands upon the head of a Sophia dragon at the center of this temple. You may begin to feel your own microcosmic orbit Begin to be filled with Quan Yin's healing light down through your crown, traveling all the way down your spine, through your root, and then back up through your legs, creating a toroidal field that follows back up through your crown in a continuous flowing circuit of divine feminine quantum healing light. Kuan Yin is blessing you with a compassion that will guide your awareness and how to stop picking yourself apart. I'm seeing so many people on this call who are picking themselves apart in some way. And you are invited in the space of Sophia's sacred sanctuary to download from Kuan Yin's transmission how whole you are. Through the eyes of Sophia, there was a perfection to your choices. There was a perfection to the choice that you made for your body. There was a perfection to the choice that you made for your emotional body and for your mental body. There was a choice that you made when your soul was consecrated as an ascension angel. All of your choices were divinely orchestrated by your higher self, which means you're actually perfect. Even with this seeming wounds or deficiencies, which are actually pearls in the making. And so the Sophia dragon that Kuan Yin is standing upon is now multiplying herself as many other rays of the Sophia dragon's light comes in, different colors of the Sophia dragon tribe, Sophia dragons, that begin to move as one body, creating this whirling rainbow transmission around the perimeter of this temple space. But that Kuan Yin Sophia dragon now rests her eyes upon yours. All these other whirling Sophia, singing seraphim dragon spirits are lifting up your soul to remember the perfection of your divinity. This single seraph stares through your eyes into the cosmos of your soul to reset your consciousness at a 0 point so that your human awareness and your human ego structure may soften into a cellular soul, remembrance, and even possible acceptance of the perfection of your journey, exactly where you stand in this moment in your life on earth. All the chess pieces are lined up perfectly for the master within you to be revealed in this lifetime. Already revealed. And now Kuan Yin is appearing before your heart with her vase of compassion, and the doors of your heart open. They open and it feels very vulnerable because you discover that the great nothing is inside of you. This is a Dakini transmission as well. You may begin to feel the doors of your heart peeling back in such a way that it brings you to the edge of a vulnerability that you did not know you could touch into. Isn't it interesting that the layers of your heart, as they are peeled back further and further, it is revealed that there is an unlimited and boundless spaciousness within you that cannot be manipulated or controlled in any way, or even harmed. Notice if the hands within your mind reach within the cosmos of this nothing within you, trying to grasp or hold on to an identification that will bring you back to a more solidified human state, and just notice. You could choose the hands, or you could choose the cosmos of nothing, the uncontainable, unboundable, unbreakable, invincible spaciousness that you are. Quan Yin's vase of compassion begins to pour through your open heart. And rivers of compassion begin to flow through the cosmos of your soul. Waters that know exactly where to flow to unknown wounds that are laying within layers of your unconscious that are seeking to be met by the loving presence of your own awareness. Kuan Yin begins to walk and step right through your heart with this Sophia Dragon transmission, blessing and alighting the cosmos within you to begin to shine like a radiant sun within the nothingness of your being. You are a rising sun. And the rays of your own soul's light begin to shine brighter and brighter and brighter, seemingly devouring the nothingness within you with pure divine love. We invite the rays of the solar transmission, a Pleiadian download of divine feminine Christ consciousness, to now begin to heal and mend your mind, to be reconciled with the power of the unlimited power and boundless vast expanse of your heart's prayer that is praying you into an unlimited version of yourself. You are invited to repeat the mantra with me 13 times. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Each seed syllable planting seeds within your body, heart, and mind. Karuna compassion that goes beyond all understanding to those places and spaces within you, crying out to be received, understood, and discovered as the pearls of your journey. Kuan Yin now stands again before you within this holy temple of Sophia, and from her vase of compassion pouring over your crown chakra like a waterfall of Sophia Christ light, you are rebaptized in your understanding of how good and true you really are. No matter what you have suffered, no matter how you have been manipulated, no matter what role you may have played in the time-space continuum, the truth of your being is the vastness and the light of Christ. That one Buddhic light, that one star from which all stars were born. These rays are reaching through your mind, up through, meeting the waters, this waterfall of compassion pouring over you. The water and the fire baptizing you. Your cells may be reaching out as though they have arms. Every cell within your body reaching up to drink deeply of this divine fire and this divine water. The Sophia dragons at the center of this holy temple begin to crack with lightning as they sing, lightning coming out of every one of their scales. And the lightning chooses to literally activate different neurological locations along your physical body. I'm personally feeling a lightning bolt going right down the center of my crown all the way to my root chakra, but you may feel it on your arms, your knees, your back, Notice how the lightning lands like feathers, but smells like lightning. Notice how there is great power and gentleness in the same time. Angelic dragon medicine teaches us that the more powerful we are, the more we accept and step into the fullness of our true power, the gentler we become. Our power speaks for us. Because it is the power of undefended divine love, which heals all wounds and causes all miracles to manifest instantly. There are many wings that are now arising. Surrounding Quan Yin, these are Ophimine and Seraphim, different embodiments of these same angelic orders. They're now speaking in many tongues, blessings, and prophecies over each and every one of us. You may begin to feel the presence of your own angel wings upon your back, coming out of your heart chakra. If you have not done your angel wings activations that are available from previous prayer calls or Facebook Lives, feel free to reach out to our team angels to receive those links after this call. Quan Yin is now inviting you with your angel wings up and your body, heart, and mind being blessed by the very holy seraphim of God and all the masters that simply adore you. We now invoke the presence of your inner child to appear before you. Your inner child may appear with different symbols on their bodies or bruises or wounds, or just as themselves, as you remember your child to be, without any visible harm. Maybe there's simply a great longing within their hearts to be held. However, your inner child appears as absolutely perfect in this moment. She or he or this child simply seeks to be held by your all-loving and compassionate arms. So open your arms and welcome your inner child to come and sit upon your lap as you sit upon the throne of your I Am presence within the temple of Sophia. Welcome you to take 3 deep breaths with your beautiful inner child at whatever age they have arisen, to be held and loved. And perhaps there are several versions of you scrambling up to your lap on this throne, perhaps hanging off an arm or two. Welcome them all home. Through your breath, through your smile. You are their parent. You are their mother and their father. And no matter how good a job you're doing parenting your inner child or how crappy you feel like you're doing, either way, they're still here and they love you. They represent your invincible innocence. They also represent those places and spaces within you that have been calling out for your attention over these past few weeks. As we all know, parenting is exhausting. And it is so helpful to have family and community and friends assist in that journey. Many wings make challenging, large tasks feel much lighter. And so we welcome the presence of Quan Yin Peering deeply into your eyes, you may feel yourself softly relaxing from any unconscious holding of self-judgment. Quan Yin begins to sing over your inner child a prayer, a blessing. Or she also blesses your third eye and your heart with a restorative and regenerative Sophia Christ light. It seems to fill your entire center and empty spaces within your heart with solidarity and support. In this moment, there is a transmission of grace being offered that is called a divine intervention. So I'm calling in the order of virtues, which is an angelic order for manifesting miracles on earth. We're welcoming in the order of virtues to join Quan Yin in this transmission, that if there is an area in your life that you've been suffering for, to help transmute collective consciousness, that you would like relief, support, and even liberation from, completion with this journey, Quan Yin is stepping into your heart and mind to assist you in the activation of your divine genome to step onto a new quantum timeline for how to liberate collective consciousness beyond your own personal suffering for it. This does not dishonor or discredit why you had to suffer for collective consciousness before. Could one be true for one period of time and another be true for another period of time? Yes. Many of us came on missions that we knew it was the only way to invade this planetary matrix with the light of Sophia Christ to reveal the greatest healing passages within the very darkest recesses of humanity's mind and heart. But here in this moment, here in this year, this great pivotal year of humanity's collective awakening, we now awaken within ourselves a divine intervention overlighted by Quan Yin, in which you can feel attachments, obstructions, cords, self-judgment, flagellations, abandonments, isolations, punishments, anything and everything that you have endured for the collective awakening of humanity that may still be going on, now begin to lift as directed by your own higher self from the core of your being. Yes, from your body. Yes, from your heart and your emotions. Yes, from your mind and your mental body, but also from your soul. Quan Yin is pouring her piercing white light all the way down your crown, but it is literally blessing and healing your soul. You may begin to see fractures or even breaks within your soul being literally sewn back together by her water light transmission. You may begin to see scars or wounds simply dissolve with the waters of Quan Yin's Karuna, compassion. The waters go where you may be too afraid to look, because the water always goes where it is directed to go. That's why water is the master teacher. And as we follow in our minds how that water light transmission from Quan Yin literally pours into the deepest recesses of our souls that have traveled across space and time, across many lifetimes for the liberation of humanity. Just as Quan Yin did, just as Green Tara did in Karnak. May you feel a great relief. Sophia's sigh of relief breathing over you as your divine mother, who has never wanted you to suffer but gave you free will to do so. So if you so choose to choose missions such as these, and in this moment, if you so choose to now choose the mission to thrive for the great liberation and happiness of all beings. Thriving now. Om Tari Tutari Tori Soha. 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 Breathing in. Exhaling the past. Breathing in the vastness of your being. Exhaling the contractions. Inhaling the sacrifices that you have made. Allowing the pearls to roll off your tongue like a dragon's tongue. More pearls, breathing it in. All of the sacrifice, all of the striving, all of the commitment. The pearls like a waterfall off your tongue. Now, see yourself sitting upon a white lotus throne. The scene has changed. You are now at the waterfall with Quan Yin. The jungle of her grave has become the jungle of heaven on earth, where she sits with Mahavatar Babaji at the sacred waterfall of her awakening and his ascension. Feel the stillness within your being as the rushing water passes by. You are surrounded by the Dakinis and the Buddhas of the Most High as Christ levitates above the waterfall with his beloved Magdalene by his side. All is holy and all is cleared and all is cleansed across space and time. Every sacrifice has become a lotus flower, a human prayer, self-realized. This is your true nature now. And so all of these pearls are being fastened within a crown upon your head and fastened into garlands, victory garlands that are placed around your neck. As you sit upon this white lotus flower, remembering your place with the masters, one family of light, your ego structure completely satisfied by the compassionate grace that you have administered to it as medicine of the Most High. Breathing in. Breathing out. It is now commanded by the power of our collective I Am presence that this living transmission is now sealed in the light and fire of your own Holy Spirit, higher self. We welcome the Sophia Dragon Tribe, Ascended Master High Council, all of the angelic orders present, and all of your spiritual guides and guardians to assist in that integration process on all 4 levels of your being. Now, it is done. It is done. It is done. By the power of 3, a perfect Trinity. It is done. And so it is. Amen. I want to thank all of the masters and angels and guides and our collective I Am presence for this very special hour to sit in the unified field of Sophia Christ consciousness, to remember our innate wholeness, our innate invincibility, our innate unlimited divine nature, to command miracles over the physicality of form, first through our own body, heart, and mind, and then as an overflow to the hearts and minds of all others who have eyes to see and ears to hear and willing hands and hearts to receive. We give thanks for the ceremony of grace and divine interventions to the entire High Council, and most importantly to the generosity of Quan and the Holy Sophia Dragons. Again, my name is Kaia Ra, and you've been participating in the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective, which is a free ministerial offering of the Sophia Code Foundation. From my heart to yours, I want to thank you for creating time together this evening to be in sacred space, prayer, and meditation. I consider it an honor and a privilege to be a part of your heroic human journey. I'd like to thank you for all of your prayers and loving support that I've received over the past several weeks as I've been in sanctuary and cleansing and my own healing retreat. All of your prayers have been very helpful and very supportive. I was participating in this retreat on the Big Island of Hawaii, and I'm happy, so happy to share that our very special Divine Feminine Healing Immersive will be happening this year on the Big Island of Hawaii. We'll be spending 3 incredible days in deep sanctuary ceremony for you to receive, rejuvenate, and completely surrender into this much divine love for 3 whole days in paradise. And that will be happening in August. So if you'd like to learn more, details are available on my website, kaiara.com. Thank you again so much for your loving support. It's an honor to be a part of this community with you. I look forward to praying with you again next month. Deepest bows of namaste. All my love, always.